Yep, I'm ready.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the November 26th edition of the Dawn Patrol. It's Thanksgiving week. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. With me is my friend Bob, good friend Bob Hoey. At 7 o'clock, we have Dave Aldrich coming in, who is a builder, you say, right, Bob? Is that what you said?
Let's say a non-profit person. We'll start with that, yeah.
So,
Project Compass, that's the name of the place he's at. Yeah.
Our friend Ned Tarmey is probably resting up still, so hope if you're watching that, if you hear from us, if you hear us, you have a happy Thanksgiving too. So, what do you got? I mean, the president's having a good week, huh? I mean,
he's not even in there yet. It's a long wait, huh?
Yeah.
Town manager news.
Oh, yeah, you want to talk about that first?
Go ahead.
No, you want to finish off? No,
what I'm feeling about you can already feel Trump taking over because of a few big things to me. One was Walmart recent, and that was this morning, I heard it. They're wiping out all DEI stuff, wiping it out.
Okay.
Okay, they're taking that out of the business, which makes me very happy. I think we should be hiring the best, no matter what color they are,
Yep.
But it was part of the election. I said it many times. It was a black and white race of people. I should say people of color and white. It was against us. I felt like that. I'm a Catholic. I thought people hated me and hated me. It was almost feeling like it was back in the Vietnam days.
Right.
What did I do wrong?
Right.
And I still feel that that's what we need to fix over anything.
He's
already making his presence, Tom.
He's making some great cabinet picks. He's that attorney general he picked. She's going to be a Spitfire, I think. Bondi was in it.
Yeah, but what I've been following closer than the election, and I was a Trumper.
We both were. We're all three of us.
Right now, the most interesting thing in my life is the strike in the North Shore, the teachers' strike. One out of the three went back to work.
Oh, they did? Which one went back? Because it was
Gloucester, I believe.
Oh, Gloucester went back?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sure, I think it's Marblehead that's still out, and another one of those North Shore towns.
Sure.
But anyways, and then my wife, the average Joe listening, saying, what are they looking for? And they say 35%. You hear numbers like that, right?
Yeah.
35%. What are you kidding me?
Sure.
I just look at Lowell, you know that, and Lowell got 12%.
Yeah.
Or close to 12% over 3 years, which is a beautiful raise.
Sure.
But I said, you got to be inside the negotiations, and like I always had Jim Hall as my main man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just stood behind him. And he did this one. I'm pretty sure he looked and said, you know what? Newton went on strike. These two schools are going on strike. What it is, to me, it's over paraprofessionals. See?
Right.
So don't always say 35%. Well, you got to look at the whole package. What are they looking for? And I'm telling you, thank God, paraprofessionals, I think help is on its way. Because you would never see teachers, really. I don't believe that you would ever see a teacher go fight so hard for a paraprofessional. They'll fight hard for themselves.
Right.
That's how I always felt. Not that Paul Georges to me was a great union leader. If he's still got his hands in it, without a doubt, no one knew how to speak about teachers better than that man.
Right.
But now comes a time you got to say, hey, enough's enough.
Right.
How high do we go?
Sure.
And just last thing, you got me going on this issue. I could bring up 10 issues, but think about this for me. A tutor. A tutor was making about $30 about a year ago, an hour. Okay? Then a guy like me, I was offered jobs, put a policeman's uniform on, stand over a pothole for $75 an hour.
Yeah.
And if you ever seen what a tutor does, a tutor is someone that has at least like 32 years of education and teaching. You ever see what they can do with a kid one-on-one? It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's what I needed.
Sure.
And we talk about it all the time on the show. And tutors, I'm hoping they go to $50 an hour, okay? And I'm not saying the pothole guy. I like cops on potholes.
Yeah.
Because there's too many nitwits on the road.
Sure.
I want cops at every pothole.
Sure.
When is enough though,
Right,
And
right.
we're starting to find out all those great things, but I'm excited about schools, by the way,
So we officially have a new town manager in Dragut. I guess they came to terms last Thursday night. There was a meeting of the minds, and Kate Hodges, who was the town administrator in Lancaster, Mass., will officially become the town manager on January the 13th at a rate of $220,000 a year, plus a car, plus all the other benefits. So, oh yeah. Well, I'm assuming every other manager's had a car. Duggan had a car, Peendeck had a car,
Peendeck had a
Vandal had a car.
1955 Chrysler.
Yeah, Vandal had a car, so.
Peendeck had Dennis Peendeck, good guy, I like Dennis. But I remember he's riding around an old Crown Victoria.
Right, exactly. It was a blue one.
Is she getting Peendeck's Crown
No,
Vic?
she's getting a nice SUV. That's what Ann Vandal was driving, a nice SUV. So, with all the bells and whistles,
I
as they
didn't
say.
think does Zimri know about this stuff?
That's what John's been very quiet. I don't get it. John has to know.
Well, I saw John last night for dinner. And
Yeah.
his wife had a health hiccup. She's back on a good track not right now, but
John's a great guy.
when the bride is down, things get a little.
There's more important things in life than politics,
Yep,
you know.
Yep. Last month,
I'm
Bobby-
realizing.
last month, Bobby's bride was down.
I'm realizing it more and more. And going back to Kate Hodges, hopefully I can get her on here some Tuesday morning. She lives in Stowe, Mass, which is about an hour away? Would you say? I don't know how far. I'm not good with geography, but I think she lives in Stowe, Mass. So,
I just want
and
to,
she's not moving to the area. So
before I forget, I got to mention it because John Zimini's name got pulled up. I bet you he's planning on going to the inauguration, okay? I'll bet you he gets into that because to me there was no bigger Trump supporter around in Massachusetts.
yeah,
And I knew I was a big one too, but nothing compared to John Zimini.
Yeah.
He was, I hope Trump goes and looks back at his Facebook and see how much he done for Trump, so.
yeah. So as I said. I think I said it probably like right after the November election. Before you know it, we'll have the city and town elections, and then we can see there's already an announced candidate for the school committee. Citywide, Danielle McFadden, who was the president of the Chamber of Commerce, interesting candidate.
Kate, she Lancaster?
Lancaster, Mass. Yeah. Danielle McFadden's running citywide for the school committee, which would be against Connie Martin and Jackie Doherty, who I'm still hearing Jackie Doherty won't be a resident of the city pretty soon. That's what I'm hearing, but I don't know if it's true or not.
Well,
so have you heard anything
Well,
about
I texted Jackie.
I knew a little bit.
Go ahead, John. John.
Well, first of all, I'm going to back up. It was Tony. I texted Tony Archinsky this morning.
Right.
Well, Tommy Bomil came in this morning. We were blabbing about this gal here, pretty woman, this Kate Hodges, stealing this off the Sun. And,
No, that's not Kate Hodges.
no?
That's the assistant manager. That's
So never mind.
Yeah, there's a wonderful person right there, Allison Manouchian.
Because I
She's
went to
actually
Facebook looking for Kate Hodges, and this came up.
Go to
Kate
just
Hodges.
Google. Go to Google.
Kate Hodges.
I don't think she has a Facebook page. I would Google her. I don't think that's her. I can't. Maybe it is. I can't see.
Married to Chris Hodges.
Her husband, I know, is a policeman in town. That could be her, but I can't.
I'll make it
Can you
big.
blow that up?
I'm clicking on it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not behaving.
That's her. I think that is her.
Not behaving.
Well, she got the high end, right?
Photos.
Yeah, she's getting 220,000 a year.
She cleared her Facebook page.
She was the assistant town manager in Concord, Mass. And then she left there and went to Lancaster, and now she's in Drake.
See if I can cinch this up so you can see the picture better.
I give her 5 years. That's what the average is now in Drake. You're never going to see a Dennis Peendeck 27 years. I say she'll be here 5 years. The first, you know it, we all know it, the first thing she does wrong, she's going to PO somebody off, and there she'll be attacked all over social media. Right, John?
Well, in drinking, things stick issues.
That looks like her, yeah.
Her
Yeah.
wedding day. Pretty girl.
Police officer. And no, her husband's a police officer, I believe, and I don't know if it's in Stowe or, yeah.
So I don't want to get on all her pickup, but I'm going to go to her home page. Let's see if this, usually
Like I
click
say-
on this makes it big. It's not making it big.
Like I say,
No, that took it back to me. Sorry.
like I say, if I
I'll go to Google.
I'll try to get her on here some Tuesday morning.
Hey, it's Tony's birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, send him a happy birthday greeting.
Yeah.
I like Tony.
Ned Tarmey, how you doing out there, buddy? Have a good Thanksgiving, Ned.
I talked to Ned on the phone yesterday, and he was not, he said, I was going to go, I'm not going to go, I might do tomorrow. I'm trying to talk him into doing Zoom. I think Zoom would be good for him to do, and so we'll see how that develops. But he sounded great, just not feeling tip-top.
Great. So what do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think of the McFadden candidacy?
I could say a lot of beautiful things. I can say, number one thing, I would say she has the right last name. That always helps. You know, it helps to have a popular last name.
Yeah.
And she has the beautiful name to me. She's a mother, I believe, of 2 or 3 children.
3 children.
Probably over at the Pawtucket Memorial, I think. That's where her children are.
Yep.
She was also...
Pawtucket will talk about her running for state rep.
Well, yeah, they had guarantee you she already has a nice bankroll, you know, and she's announcing, but she doesn't know, in my opinion only, folks, she doesn't know how happy she made me, because we haven't had anybody running against citywide.
Right.
Now, that takes a lot of heat off a person like myself, because I wasn't going to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to put your name in there to run for the schools. Even if you lose, come in with your issues. What do you want to talk about? It's simple. It really is simple.
So her candidacy has changed your mind already?
No, I would never change my mind.
Oh,
I want
okay.
to see what's happening,
Okay,
because we
all
need
right.
to wipe
Good,
out a
good,
few
good.
people in
Good
there.
for you.
It just
I
has
hope
to
you run.
happen.
Yeah.
One at a time, boys.
Yeah, and I just want to say I never met her. I know she's in my sister Ronnie that runs Project Compass knows her. Young Jew Chow, those type of people all know each other, and she knows a lot of business people.
I met Danielle 17 years ago.
I don't know.
When she and I were in the Salvation Army Advisory Board together, she left about maybe, when she got the job at the Chamber, she left the Salvation Army Advisory Board because she knew she was going to be busy. But great girl. One of our bell ringers. I think she probably still does ring the bell. I think the Chamber might do a day a year to ring the bell. And
Chamber of Commerce, right? Is that what she's in charge of?
President of Chamber of Commerce. And we're out bell ringing, as you know. We've been out there since right after Veterans Day, and I'm seeing pretty good money coming in so far. You know, people are, I don't know if the economy's coming back, but a lot of people never pass by. You know, I'll be out there tomorrow and every Wednesday till Christmas, and and I was telling John, Christmas Eve we start actually at 6 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Eve. You know, because that's a long day, and it's we cut off early, obviously, because of the holiday and all that, but. It's a busy time of the year.
You know, I stopped to talk to the guy that was collecting the money and ringing the bell at Market Basket at Stadium Plaza last night.
Phil Ralowitz.
Yeah. Phil, he said to say hi.
Great guy.
But
Phil's been on the board with me for 17 years.
So I stopped him. I stopped to talk to him. I said, hey, I'm on TV with Tom Bomil. Because I said, do you know Tom Bomil? And he said, oh, yeah, I know Tom.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm on a TV show with him on Tuesdays. So I'm on there tomorrow. Make sure I say hi to you.
Yeah,
you
Phil
know?
lives over on, I believe, Wentworth Avenue. I don't know if he's still there, but great guy, and great board member. So
Yeah, I think this is, today you'll be bombarded. Yesterday was so busy.
I'm working tomorrow. I'm not working. I'm ringing tomorrow, and I know the kettle will be chock full. I'm going to ring like from 9 in the morning to like 11 or 12 o'clock in the morning. Even the morning's busy, you know.
You know, the kettle at the Stadium Plaza yesterday, I went going in, I gave $1, and I stuffed $1 in.
Yeah.
And coming out, I could barely get the $1 in.
Yeah,
The pot, they need a bigger pot.
Paint, wooden paint things. We paint stirs to
Yeah.
shove it in. We have one on each of us, so it's that helps it out.
Maybe it's time just to get a little bit bigger of a pot.
Yeah.
You know, because
Well, we actually do. We have smaller ones we start out with, and tomorrow, the next day they'll be bigger, and even like Christmas they're even bigger. You know, so
yeah, I'm predicting they're going to have a good year, only because of the boat had that show.
Yeah.
The rock show.
Yeah.
Paul Belay. Who else was? Warren Shaw spoke. I actually was ready. I shook his hand, said, congratulations. You picked up that nice chunk of change from the state to help farms.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
$500,000, I think it was, you got some type of grant.
Yeah.
And good luck to them. And that's for Drake-it. You know, that's Drake-it stuff.
I think those are great ideas, those shows, and I'm just old school.
Oh.
Ringing the bell, that's the thing. I mean, that's where it started, and that brings in a lot. Mike Kunzler brought in, I don't know what his figures are going to be. He had a big event last week for the Salvation Army. Last year, I think he brought in 80,000, 90,000, which was a good percentage of what we raised. But, these new majors who we have, Alan and Amanda Kruger, like as in Cliff Kruger?
Krieger.
Krieger. Oh, he's Krieger? Oh,
He's Krieger.
they go as Kruger. Okay, I'm pretty sure they're Kruger, but they're great. They're doing a great job. They've been here since July, and they'll probably be here. They usually average stay is 5 years. So
Yeah. There was a band that played out in Drake-it for years, Last Laugh. And the lead singer, his name's Devin. He was in this show with Paul Belay.
Yeah.
Paul worked his head off that day for people, and I took a lot of video of it, threw it on Facebook, and there's a few large amounts for me. If I get over 1,000 views, I'm impressed with myself, and I had one or two that went over 1,000. Paul Belay is a big part of that. He doesn't think he is, but the music that he attracts, the people that he attracted there that night, to me was incredible. That's all I can say. Incredible. Yeah. So I'd like to see how much they pulled in that night because the place was packed.
I think I might have already heard a number. I'm not sure. I don't know.
That's all right.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Yeah. It's nice. It's nice to hear the number.
Yeah.
Like 250,000 was it last year, Tom?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's a nice number.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is a giving area, that's for sure. That's all I want to say. It's a giving area.
We had our breakfast a few weeks ago. Mike Lindsay, great job. Mike, as you guys, I think you guys were at the Bridge Club breakfast last year, St. Patrick's Day. But he had a great breakfast for us. But it was the first Thursday in November. Yeah, November 7th, and it was a great time. So that's what usually really kicks it off for us. And then we get into the bell ringing, the radiothon, and then Christmas week, vacation. Not Christmas week, Christmas Eve, that whole week, which is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this year, I believe. So no, Monday and Tuesday. Yeah. So about a month from today, it'll be the day after Christmas. That's how time's flying by.
Yeah, but when you look, this is what I love about Lowell. I've been around America. I haven't been around the world. That's for sure. I don't leave America. I don't trust the world. How's that? But this is a really giving area. I mean, look at it. Just look at a lot of businesses. Look at what this guy does, and look at what RDT does. And, there's so many people that do things. Jarvis, Buick, don't you do something there?
We don't anymore. They used to do the drive after COVID. I don't know if funds dried up, whatever, or during COVID. It was called the Lincoln. You drive a Lincoln, and you get Jarvis, not Jarvis. The Lincoln company would give so much money per car for all the drivers.
That was nice. But an era gone by. Did you guys get this text yesterday about the City Lights Parade? My phone was going off. Got a phone call and this text about the City Lights Parade this Saturday, downtown Lowell. It's always a blast.
Yeah.
I don't know if either of you guys have been through
Yeah,
downtown.
I saw it. In fact, we're taking our grandchildren. We take them every year. We're going to take them.
Tommy, read it then.
The City of Lowell's annual City of Lights Parade will take place on Saturday, 11:30, beginning at 4:30. The parade will launch from Jackson Street and proceed to Central Street and Merrimack Street before ending at City Hall. Downtown parking will be restricted with no parking allowed on Jackson Street after 10 a.m. on Saturday, November 30th. The parade route along Central and Merrimack Streets, as well as Arcan Drive and Father Morris Phillip Boulevard, will also restrict parking with no parking after 1 p.m. There will be free parking on Saturday, November 30th, all city garages, except for the Hamilton and Lower Locks garages. For more information, please visit www.lowellcityoflights.org.
Now, parking on Jackson Street. People, so I'm going to park my car there at 9. No, that means towing starts at 10.
Yeah.
Any car parked on the street will be towed. Because Jackson Street is very overly populated the day of the City Lights Parade. All the little kids and the moms and the dads and the grandmoms and the granddads are walking all over that street. So just
What we do is we get there
Clear
early
off
enough.
Jackson
We
Street.
park on Hurd Street. They don't ban the parking on Hurd Street near the old courthouse. We park there. We'll park on the Hurd Street in the courthouse parking lot and just walk down to the corner there and
Hurd's
watch
good.
it. Yeah.
I hate to give up all my secrets, but I never parked downtown in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I park at people's businesses that I know. I go in and ask for permission, but I have a few businesses around. If I have to get some Greek food, I got a parking spot. If I have to go watch a soccer game, I got a parking spot.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
You know, you frequent the store. Hey, I'm going to be parked here for a while, okay? Yep, no problem.
Yeah.
And it just helps. Imagine if we all went downtown to park. It would
John,
be ridiculous.
are you using your parking lot besides the business for anything else? Because I came by the other day. I was going to go in and get the calendars, and I saw so many cars. I said, in case it's a wake, I don't want to go in there. Do people from the school park here or anything? Or
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the school has an uptick of, they got like another 300 kids. There's almost
wow.
1,000 kids that go to school across the
Okay,
city.
all right.
So the principal, my sister-in-law, Judy, she was
Yeah.
a long-time teacher there. And this new principal, I think his name's Greg, she says, you ought to talk to Greg and, make a deal, let him use the parking lot. So I sent him an email, Greg, just long as, tell everybody they can use the parking lot if they want, because their hours are opposite ours. So like, it's a little messy in the morning, a little messy in the afternoon when the kids get picked up. But
wait.
yeah, Roger School uses our,
Oh, if you have a big funeral, it must be tough too, right?
no,
No?
we close it.
Yeah.
Can say
By
sorry,
the way, I stopped
not
in this-
doing today. Because
I
we
popped
have,
in. Oh, good, I'm sorry.
what happens is we have people that will park their car every day. And if we have a funeral, one of my guys is out there saying, sorry, you can't park here today. So
Yeah.
they but parents dropping their kids off, and works out good. Never having a problem because
Yeah.
when the wakes start, the schools are already gone home.
Sure,
So
sure.
it's
My
not-
district, my district's better than your district, John. You have Elm Street, you have so many back central, it's unbelievable what's going on in your district.
I see.
I live in 3, I'm all set.
You said about Little Secrets. There's over near the Four Seasons restaurant there on what's it, that Charles
Central.
There's 2-hour park. I'll park there a lot if I go for a walk because it's only 2 hours and it's free. 2 hours. So, and I popped in this morning, John. I picked up a couple of calendars. So thank you again. Those are great.
Good
Yeah,
boy.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want one of these calendars, just go in, well, all of you homes have them, but McDonough's, if you go in McDonough's, we have them available pretty much outside. So you go up in the side door there, in the
ramp,
parking
yeah.
lot, just walk in that door. Immediately on the left-hand side, there's a pile of them. Take whatever you think you might be needing.
Yeah. So, but all right, where are we, buddy?
Oh, I just think the McFadden deal, that's a big deal for me right now.
Yeah.
Because now we know there's some competition, finally.
What do you think of the district races? Who do you think will have opposition besides
What, city
Sean McDonough
council?
running
City council?
in the city district?
You won't see a lot of
I don't
change,
think
believe.
Dakota will have. Do you think Dakota will have opposition?
I think the biggest race will be Corey Belanger's
Yeah,
seat.
yeah.
I think that would be the biggest, and the one where all the votes are,
Eric Gitchie is watching this morning. He tells
Yeah,
us about the parade. Tom, you want to read that?
Wait until you see Great Overall Tex float this year. Wow. Good morning, Eric.
Yeah,
They always have a nice one. That's a lot of them are nice.
Are you guys, I'm getting toasty. You guys toasty? You guys
lo-
good?
I-
I'm
It feels
fine,
good
it's
to me.
comfortable. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't got a sweater on.
Okay.
Maybe. That's a nice sport jacket. That's for law. That's nice.
Yeah, I don't know what it
Nice.
is.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see who runs for citywide councils, district councilors. I think Dakota will go unopposed. Rathiem, you think he'll have a?
No, he'll be tough. He'll be tough.
He'll
He's done
opposition, you think?
I could pick on the things I like about him.
Yeah.
Paul Rathiem, you're talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
He's. I don't think he'll be challenged.
Yeah. But like I say, the Corey Belanger one will be the interesting.
That will be challenged.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I believe so. Citywide, I'm hoping to see a little bit more action.
Yeah.
Right now, Eric Gitchin and Danny Rourke, those two right there, they're
Sailing.
not being touched right now.
They're sailing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got work to do right now, though.
Yeah.
They're sailing, they got some work to do,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think the South Common right now, they're doing good so far for me. I mean, I didn't expect it overnight, but
Yeah.
I see a big
Well,
improvement.
I went by there this morning, and it looks barren. That's how great it looks. That's great. And maybe I could start walking there again. I used to love to walk that track down there, you know?
Yeah,
So-
and, but it has, it's, the money that they're spending in the South Common, it's almost ridiculous the way we were going. And the issues, you're going to see more and more, because I'm going to keep saying it. The Housing Authority is a big part of it, Tom.
Yeah.
It's a big part of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a different housing than I remember.
Yeah.
When I was younger, the Bishop Markham, there'd be no way you'd be sitting out there making them look bad down there.
No.
They'd throw you out.
Right, I
They'd
remember-
throw you
I
out.
lived right down the street from it, yeah.
North Common's much better. Because I shop at all the market baskets. I like doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
One of my favorites is the one out there in New Hampshire. Is it Seabrook? I'm pretty
Seabrook,
sure
the Hudson,
Seabrook. Yeah, out on Route 1 there.
Okay, yeah.
I like going in there and
Yeah.
looking for manager
I was in there
specials.
yesterday. It was pretty busy yesterday when I was in. I was in there. I picked up some goods at the store, and like I say, I'm ringing tomorrow morning, so it'll be a busy morning. The thing is, on Christmas Eve and that week, it's getting in to get a parking spot. Geez, sometimes you have to park over near Walgreens on Bridge Street because they're so busy. But yeah,
You should have seen the Stadium Plaza one, and I go there about 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I walk in. I've been off sugar since the 20th. Trying to stay 100% off, it's very hard, but
Yeah.
I'm off sugar, and it's not easy. Walking in there, they had so many pies and cakes. As soon as you went in, thousands.
yeah.
It
The
was-
Christmas cookies. and
Oh,
Yeah.
terrible.
yeah.
I got to make my wife start doing the food orders.
How's
you
she
know.
feeling? She everything
Great.
good with her? Great.
Doing good.
Great.
Doing good.
That's good. That's good. Good. on
Yeah.
you. On the road to recovery, that's good news, you know.
Yeah, you can't beat.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah. And she had excellent care, like you said, down in Boston, and
Oh yeah, Brigham Women's Hospital.
yeah, yeah.
But I observe everything, even when she was in the hospital. Let's say, like nurses.
Yeah, yeah.
The care that my wife was getting came off a student from Northeastern,
Oh,
a
really?
junior. Yeah, it's like a POC. I forget the initials. Personal care person. That's all. They're not a nurse. They're in school to become a nurse. Okay.
Right.
If my wife didn't have that young lady, I forget who, and I know a lot about the young lady, adopted. She was from China. She's a junior in Northeastern. Her mother and father have to pay. It's only like 84. I think it was 84,000. Not too
Right,
much.
right, right.
Incredible. But the care that she gave my wife was unbelievable. I've never seen anything
Sure.
in my whole life like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
Yep, a student.
That's great.
And the
That's
nurses,
great.
I'm not dumping on the nurses, but all they're doing really is computer work and medications, and this and that.
What do you want them to do?
I know they're so busy that they can't really give the hands-on that I thought they should be doing, but it's just like teachers. Teachers without paras, forget it. You wouldn't want to teach anymore if you didn't have a para. You
Yeah.
just wouldn't. They just do so much for you. From everything from changing a diaper or someone that soiled himself.
Holy cow! Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You
Wow.
name it.
Wow.
A para has to help the teacher, and it's an incredible job.
Yeah.
And that's why these strikes are happening, I'm telling you, because of paras. And I've always been for teachers, and they show you, one time they'd never do that, and now they do it. So the teachers are, I
What about
rest
the,
my case about a teacher. They're the best occupation I ever met.
We were talking about the city council district races. What about the school committee district races? Do you think anybody will have opposition? You got up in your area is Conway, right?
Yeah.
And
I feel
Eileen Rossi in Centerville, and and over in Pawtuckaville you got Fred Bahu, right? Or is he Highlands? Fred's in the Highlands, right?
he needs
That's-
Pawtuckaville too,
Too,
though.
yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
he lives, I'm sorry to say it because I like Fred, but Fred, whatever gets you, basically just carried you over the line. It's not a real
Yeah.
election. If someone comes out, there's people in Pawtuckaville that can give him a challenge. There's no doubt about it. I think,
But he's doing his job.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think he's
saying
doing
this,
his
let's just stay on McFadden,
All right.
girl, and I don't know her first name, I'm sorry.
Danielle.
But just her entering, the people in Belvedere, where the big vote is, they have a lot of people come out to say they're going to run against Corey Belanger. Now, if I was in that group of about 8 or 9 or 10 of them, right, I'd say, you know what, I'm going to have a hard time beating this one and this one. Maybe I should run for the schools in this district.
Right, right.
That's what you need in Belvedere, too. You need competition.
Sure.
You do.
Sure.
And I think it's coming finally. We just got into this new redistricting, right?
Yeah.
What's this, the third year, maybe?
Third term. Do you
I
think
can tell people-
think there'll be any citywide candidates for council? New citywide candidates for council?
I hope so. I hope Lee Gitcher comes out, but that's who I'm
Oh,
for.
he'll-
I'm
he'll-
for Eric Gitcher. What do you mean,
Yeah.
Tom? Go ahead. What do you
Lee
go
won't
ahead.
run. Lee won't run.
Oh, you never know. I
Well,
never say never.
he stated on a show, 2 weeks ago, first of all, he's not running for re-election in 4 years.
I tell you what.
You never say never. You never say never.
I'd run against Bill Hoey.
Yeah.
My uncle, he lives in Lowell. Put your name in for the school committee. I'd run against him. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's not. I don't
Fred
think it's
Wilkie puts this on his webpage, on his Facebook page. ICE arrests 3 illegal immigrants in Massachusetts. 2 charged with child rape, 1 convicted of same crime in Brazil. And then in the gray print is Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey recently said her state would not cooperate with President-elect Trump's mass deportation laws.
She did say that.
Yeah.
So,
We all-
we're in for some changes, boys.
You know,
Now, I heard that the ICC, 1 more year. Now, what happens when that year's up? Is it going to go back to the ICC? Are the kids going back there in the dorms? Does anybody know the answer?
Depends on who the governor is.
Yeah.
If the governor wins again, it'll be 3 and 4 years down there. Don't
Well,
forget, don't forget-
she announced, I guess it was yesterday, there's only 1 more year there. Healy.
promises made and promises kept with the governor or something, limited.
Well-
But we have to, what we have to really look at here is, Trump's gonna kick those people out of the country. Well, we flew them in here, taxpayer money. I don't know how it happened, whether it was a grant or whatever. We sent jet planes to these different countries to pick these people up and flew them up here. How did they get through customs? Nobody knows. How did they get past, how did they actually get off a D plane and instantly move into the ICC?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, let's say for instance, America's troubled. And they're burning down our houses, killing our spouses, killing our kids, and Russia sends planes here. I'm going to get on the Russian plane and fly to Russia. It's got to be better than here. And that's what Massachusetts did. We sent planes down to, and the airlines won't say who paid them. Everything's a big secret.
Yeah.
Where's the transparency, Governor Healy? How did they get here, Governor? I don't know.
When
Wait
they-
a second. You didn't ask if are they here really, how they got here. There's no transparency there. It's terrible.
When
Yeah.
they cross that border, the first thing they say is now where we're going to go. And a group heads to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Go to that sanctuary state.
Well,
What do we got? About 20,000? We don't know what's running around. us.
Isn't it amazing? We fill them up, the ICC, with the immigrants, but we have homeless people less than a quarter mile from here. Why don't they put them in the shelter if they want to go in? I know some of the homeless don't want to go into a shelter. Why don't they use that as a shelter for the homeless? The homeless, the low people, the low homeless. What do you think, Bob?
You get me when you bring up, we talk about the schools and then we jump over to this side right now. And all
Yeah.
I can think about is the competition word. Look at what we had, Harris and Trump, right? Harris and Trump, greatest country in the world.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it. That's all we have. People don't want to run. In the schools, the same thing for
Oh, but
years.
yeah.
And same thing for years. And if they don't watch out in this city, if you really love a school committee, I think school committees are good.
Yeah.
But if you don't like it, they'll be appointing someone shortly.
So in Florida, Marco Rubio is the new Secretary of State, and there's talk that DeSantis is going to appoint Lara Trump as the senator. He has the right to appoint her. Did you hear that rumor?
I didn't
I
hear
read that in the Herald yesterday, or the day before. That'd be interesting.
They don't
See-
have to have a special election. You just
No, she'll have to run in 2 years. That's how it usually works. And then to fill out the term.
Oh, I didn't know that. So they don't have to worry about losing a seat.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure the Democrats have played the same game.
Oh, yeah.
I think they
Oh,
do.
they would. Yeah.
To me, most of it's about money, and I'll tell you, anything to do with DEI, that's already, Walmart is a big company, they make a lot of money, and they're already getting rid of anything to do with DEI.
Yeah.
I think that should come across the country. It'll be like a small wave, not like the red wave we had in the election, but I believe DEI is on the endangered list.
Yeah.
If you have a job that the federal government, DEI, is paying you, you won't have that job long.
Yeah.
The good news is there's no wind outside. Zero wind,
No, it wasn't windy.
but it is 33 degrees.
But it's supposed to pipe up to about 50 today, I
33
think.
degrees,
What's the high today, John?
and my phone says 45 is the high,
All right.
and 80% chance of rain.
Yeah.
Let me see what time it's going to rain.
8
It's going
a.m.
to be
I
raining
believe.
around 10 a.m.
Good. I'm glad I'm not ringing the bell today. Then I'm ringing it tomorrow. So, but I'm undercover anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, no, you got connections. Don't you ring the bell inside the store?
No, I refuse to. And there was some
I'm just
peop-
kidding you. I'm
There were
just
some
kidding.
people that have asked that they would actually let them, but I wouldn't. You know, it's you got to be out there standing up and.
Yeah, I think.
So, John, after
I'm
the
excited
first of the year,
about
I'll
the
reach out to, if you want me to, I'll reach out to Danielle about coming on the morning show with us.
Yeah, love to have her, yeah. Good girl.
No, not to be funny, but could you picture what it would be like? We know Eric and we know Lee Gitchie just from the show alone.
Yeah.
Can you picture them two running against each other? No, you're smiling and laughing, but
Why would they?
Listen, Eric to me right
That'd
now,
make bad blood, wouldn't it? I mean,
to me, there's no city councilor that I've seen do the job that he's doing in a long time. But if you look at him and then you look at Lee, as far as who's popular, that's a close call, boy. I'll tell you. Lee's a very popular kid.
Why wouldn't he
I
run for the
shouldn't
school
call him a
committee?
kid. What?
why wouldn't he run for the regular
No,
school
I-
committee?
Oh, right now he's saying he wants to relax, enjoy his
Yeah,
dog, and,
yeah.
and live the
Yeah.
good life, right? But I'm going to talk about it a little bit because to me it would be awesome for Low. That's what McFadden. I love that name. I got so many friends with that name. It's crazy, but a woman with 3 kids and she's in the public schools and she was going to run for state rep.
Yeah.
She has a crowd behind. She's going to be tough.
Yeah,
She'll be tough.
yeah.
Without a doubt, citywide, but I think she should get a thumbs up. She's going to get it from me just for entering her name in the race, so
Yeah,
good luck
she's
to her.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, very,
Yeah.
very nice person.
But I think that having talking to Jackie Doherty, I'm going to quote what she put in a text. I don't want to get in trouble with misquoting somebody, but she was kind enough to write me back. I got to go to Doherty. D-O-H. Here she is. I texted her, "Hi, Jackie, hope all is well on this morning's show," meaning last week. A rumor about you. Are you moving? Are you running for re-election? Thoughts, please. And she texted back, "I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I just started a job I love 6 months ago in Waltham, and I'm very committed to my school committee work." So my takeaway from the conversation was maybe or maybe not. Thanks. Wishing you the best. Best to you, John. It's best to you, John. I will decide by the first of the year. And I said, enjoy the holidays. And she said, so true.
Great.
So that was the text.
So I was talking about the new town manager in Drake and her life expectancy out there, but meaning as on the job. And I'd say an average 3 to 5 years, she'll either be looking for another job or people in town will destroy her because of social media. What do you think, Golden? What do you think? How many do you think he's got? Another 2 or 3 years? You think the average is what, about 5 years for a city manager?
No, 3. As soon as he gets the pension, gone.
No, I mean with the average.
As soon as they get that pension golden ring, they're gone.
So Murphy and Donnie were only there 3 years. Okay, all right. And then-
That was my, I mean, Kevin Murphy had no intention of leaving.
Yeah.
And I never asked Kevin personally about this. I like Kevin, he's a nice guy. I think he was doing a good manager job. Much better manager than we have right now. That's my personal opinion. And apparently, Powers in Lowell walked into the office and said, you're done.
Yeah. Well, we had one race this year that kind of changed that direction of what
And
the
they
way
did the
he's
same
thinking.
thing to Eileen Donahue. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's all right.
3 years, you're done.
You know, when you say passing the torch or something like that, you know, the jobs, Karen Casella stopped it all. That race stopped. It stopped a pretty big race in Lowell. I haven't seen a race like hers in a long time.
No.
That was an incredible race.
She did a great job in spending probably half the money some of those candidates spent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a great time.
So, John, just to go back to what you said about them going in, do you think the powers to be are going to go walk in and say to Golden, it's time to leave, or do you think he'll leave on his own? Yeah.
Yep. I just said it's time to It's time.
You don't think he'll leave on his own? You think they'll
Well,
say
he
that?
will leave on his own, but the back room smoke
Oh, okay.
office will say,
Yeah.
well, my kids are getting older, and I'm missing my family, I'm missing I cherish family time, I can't get these days back, I've had to rethink this, and I've got the city going in a good direction,
Yeah.
so this shitty manager is going to resign.
Yeah, and I say all he would have to do to make me happy, and he's making me happy now, but he
how so?
well, hold on, let me just finish, because if you talk to me
Well,
too
yeah.
quick,
One at a time, boys.
you'll change my way of thinking. I haven't I love the mayor, but I haven't seen what the police chief has really done yet, because that's, to me, a very important job for a city like Lowell, and he's a good friend, I think a college buddy of the city manager. So the South Common is the only issue for me, and this district.
Well,
Well, go ahead.
Tommy will tell you how lonely the South Common looked this morning.
Yeah, I
that's
did. I
fine.
did. You were out of the room. I told them. Yeah. Yeah.
It's getting colder. That helps. Always going to help. They're going to look for a warmer place. You don't want to be out in the wind. But to me, the whole neighborhood, your whole district, and I don't mean to stay on it, but there's so many issues I can talk about. I've said it in the past few weeks. The number one thing, about 30 cars last month were broken into right around Elm and Back Central. Just that area alone. I talked to the people in that area, business people too. There's a lot of things going on that I don't believe are being addressed, okay? I'll say it that way. Because the South Common, if they stay on that issue and clean it up, and they're going to have to do a lot of work, even with the Housing Authority, right? But to do that job and get it done, Tommy would be remembered forever.
Well, the mistake a lot of people make is they leave their goodies in the car viewable. Now, I had a lady, friend of mine, I met her, who cares where I met her, but I get into her car for a quick ride. She's got probably $10 worth of change on the floor of her car. And I says, interesting, you keep your wealth on the floor of the car. We chuckled about it, but they'll break your window for that. They see, your change in your ashtray, you don't need it for tolls anymore, but a lot of people have change in there, they have money on their sun visor. And these crooks' imaginations are amazing. If they see anything of value in your car, they're going to break your window. Take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, last thing I'll say about this district that I keep talking about, they even have variety stores that have illegal gambling that are hurting people. I don't want to be a city councilor. I tried it 3 times running, but never raised money, and it's a very hard seat to win. But the school committee, you can do that with $10 if you want to work hard. Just throw your name on there. Really, I'm serious. It's that easy to put your name.
And who's your district councilor? Kim Scott, right?
Kim Scott, yeah. I like Kim a lot.
Yeah, I think she'll have opposition.
Well, she would if, let's say, Jeff Thomas came out to run. I'm a big fan
I
of
saw Jeff last week. He was out. I said, "What are you doing out here?" I was ringing the bell. He was out on Bridge Street. He said, "I had to come out here." Jeff's a good guy. Yeah.
Well, listen, we don't, on issues, we're a lot different in a lot of different issues, but
Yeah.
I just like the way he stands up for himself. That's what I'm impressed with the most.
Yeah.
And I always said to Jeff, if you run, I'm working with you, but Kim is great, too. Kim knows quite a bit
So
about
if
schools.
Kim were to announce she's not running again, he'd probably run for that seat.
Oh, I don't know. I can't say
What
that.
about you?
No, I wouldn't
No.
want to be I told you, 3 strikes, you're out. I tried the city council 3 times, and I lost. See you later. I don't need it now. I hate to lose. 3 is enough.
Yeah.
The school seat,
It's a little
I
different,
always
but
left that
the
open.
district seat, it's a little different, the district and citywide, I think, don't you? I mean,
Well-
you up in the district there, popular guy, whereas citywide, you might not be as popular,
I don't know, but to me, if you win a school seat 4 times,
Yeah.
they
Oh, yeah.
sent me a message, you're doing something right.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I wouldn't be here.
And the last time,
been
when
on
you
the
finished,
school.
like, what, 3rd, I think?
I don't remember
Something
where I
like that.
finished,
can't remember.
but
Last time, you did very well.
a lot of teachers are retired up in Belvedere where we vote. A lot of people are
Yeah.
connected to schools from Belvedere. They're all related. That's why the first thing you're told, like Bill Topia said, Bob, you got to watch out what you say because everybody's related in the school department. It was, the things I learned off of, like a Bill Topia, Timmy Golden. It was so much fun on the school committee. It was crazy.
Right,
George Cooler Harris. Imagine being
Great
on
guy.
with him.
Great
I
guy.
did 2 years with him. He was incredible.
Great family,
Yeah.
great guy,
K. Stocklosa. Oh, I guess, believe me, things that could make people laugh. Maybe someday I'll write a book. I don't know. Really, when you meet those type of Regina Faticante, I have a lot of laughs with her too. And they take the job serious,
Yeah.
People underestimate the school committee, how much work there is. If you're involved with schools, phew, there's a lot of hours involved. A lot
I
of
could
hours.
imagine. I could
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah. Nothing more fun, though.
What's that?
I said, there's nothing more
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
I don't care, like being in what they call a CSA class, autistic kids, and you might be dancing with them or singing with them. It's just, it's nice to visit. That's all I'll say. It's really
Yeah.
a nice place to visit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But election-wise in Lowell, it's going to be fun. I already got something from Danny Rourke,
Yeah, I got
Little
the-
card, you
the
get
card,
that?
Yeah, yeah, that's class. Send something out there.
Of course.
And you didn't send it out during election time, you sent it out, very nice,
I don't know, I think maybe it's his wife writing on all that nice stuff on the card for us.
Well, he
but-
wrote "miss you" to because he worked with my wife. I think it was his writing. Miss
Okay.
you. She said it was his writing. On
I
there.
always have my wife write
Yeah,
everything here.
yeah.
You got nice penmanship.
Well, I can't write, so she has to do that. She has to fill out paperwork. I can't write for. Those nuns at St. Peter's didn't teach me right. I don't think.
I don't know why. I never could figure out the parochial schools. Why they do so well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to say it's discipline.
Oh,
That's what I-
absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
what because if your kid acts up, they can tell you, hey,
I see it with my granddaughter.
Basically, this came up the other day, and you weren't around, so I'll wait till Bobby comes in on Tuesday. What kind of physical punishment did you get at the Rogers School?
oh boy,
What
what did I get?
Yeah, personally, like when I went to St. Peter's School,
Yeah.
I would, the nuns would, the worst thing they would do is, let me put this camera on me here. You guys can sip your brew over there. The worst thing I'd get is they'd pull your ear, they'd pull the back of your hair, and if you were really bad, you'd get a crack across the knuckles with a ruler. Tom, you went to St. Peter's.
Yep.
What kind of discipline can you?
I got.
And I'm not blaming.
No.
The nuns did the right thing. It worked. That was how we did discipline in the 50s.
I hated it then, but I'd go back there tomorrow if I could. If I could live my life again, I'd go back to St. Peter's School. I used to get we had Sister Leo Catherine, a
Yep.
fourth grade teacher.
Yep.
Sister Leo Catherine would take you by your cheeks, and we called them Leos. Did you get a Leo today? She'd shake your head, and oh, that hurt, because she would pinch you so hard, and you'd get this ruler or the strap. You ever get the strap, and then you 5 times?
I got the
5 times.
strap once from Sister Superior.
Yeah, so did I.
So he was
But
asking me.
that's the discipline. That's what I got.
And then we'll go to Rogers.
I just want to say this. 7th grade, okay, a grade I remember. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. We didn't have any nuns. We had mostly men, very strong men, very big men, and great teachers. They were-
Rogers School, right?
Rogers School, 7th grade. I could sit here. I could sit here and give you all their names. Okay, we won't give no names.
Right.
But what they did was they'd give you the ruler if you acted up
Right there, thanks.
on this side of your hand, and very hard. And I don't mean just a little ruler. I mean a piece of wood. On
Right.
this side, with pointers.
Right.
If you were real
Oh,
bad,
yes, the
real
pointers,
bad, you
yep.
get pointers across your legs.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Which I got every one of those things, and this is what I said to all of them, Tom. They were still working when I got elected the first time in 1995. And I went around, I was about 260, 70 pounds. I went around and shook all their hands, the guys
Yeah.
that hit me.
You told me that.
Yeah, I did. I said, hi, how you doing? I goes, you remember me? Remember giving me the ruler in the back of the hands? And, oh, you can't tell people we hit you. I said, I'm here to give you a pay raise.
Yeah.
It was all because I couldn't read. I knew how to act up. You think I was going to stand up in class and read in front of girls that I wanted to dance with at the Keith Academy dances? You think I was going to stand up when I couldn't read? No way, I'll take my punishment. That's how it was simple.
Yeah.
But and then I run into George Balser.
Did you have a tough time like that? Meaning not reading, but
Yeah.
speaking in front of, like, I couldn't.
No, I can speak. I love speaking
I
in
do
front
now.
of people.
But
Me too.
I do now. But when I was a kid, I was timid with that stuff.
All I did was act up. All I
I
did
can do
was-
it now anytime. I can go before a crowd of 500 people. But I mean, before, when I was a kid in high school, I was timid when it came to that stuff,
All I did
So-
was cause dysfunction.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can remember in this school we lit off an M80. Do you know what an M80 is?
Yeah.
We did things like
In the school.
in the
Oh.
cafeteria, not near.
A lot of words.
Yeah, you would think a bomb went off.
Yeah,
I mean,
those were loud.
yeah.
Like
so
cherry
yeah,
bombs.
but
and-
teachers don't listen. I was a prison guard and I worked around teachers. Teachers go. They see a lot of stuff.
Sure.
We
So,
gotta-
Bobby,
we gotta
I
do a
had to
better
go- I had to
job.
go let our guest in,
Yes, sir.
David Aldrich, and he'll be in just a second. So, a male teacher would take a pointer, which was a wooden stick
Yeah,
with a little rubber pointer on the
Yeah.
end of it. That was called a pointer.
yeah.
And hit you on the back of the legs.
Back of the leg. Well, that was a principal that did that to me, but a teacher, it was across the back of the hands. And I'll tell you, the teacher wasn't a big man, but boy, did that hurt. But again,
With a pointer?
oh, it hurts. Hit your knuckles. with
Oh,
a
I believe
pointer.
you.
It's going to hurt. And there was, I could give you names, and like I said, I'm not going to. I remember almost the size of a baseball bat one guy had, and you'd get one on each fingers one time. And I'll tell you, you'd remember it for
Yeah.
a week.
I remember one
But-
time at St. Peter's, Johnny, and I remember, I'm sure you did, you helped out after school once in a while, and
Take a
this,
seat on the couch, David. You should
and-
be good.
and this kid was staying after school, and I was either sweeping the floors, and all of a sudden I heard he threw his books off the desk onto the ground. We never saw that kid again. We never saw him again, so he must have been expelled right away, and he didn't hear about it, he didn't know what.
Well, I was told in Keith Academy by friends of mine that went to Keith
I've
Academy.
heard stories,
The
yeah,
brothers would actually take a book and throw it right at your face.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how the discipline. But those are the Fred Flintstone, Jackie Gleason kind of
Not
days.
anymore. You can't even,
No.
And Fred,
you get sued now.
can you imagine if you talked to your wife like Fred talked to Wilma?
Oh, yeah.
And that was common. That was common. That was how we did things back then.
Yeah.
But nowadays,
Oh, with Ralph Cramden and Alice, but he always
don't
said
happen no more.
she was the greatest.
I've been married 49 years, and I was the boss the first 25 years. It was my way or the highway. Not anymore.
Wow.
I do dishes. I have to go do food orders. Believe me, women take over. They take over after a while.
Well, it's a 50-50
Can
in
I
the
end?
house.
Can I end the conversation with that discipline and how we used to get the ruler on the back of the hands? Don't forget, I was 10 years old when my mother and father divorced.
Yeah.
I got 15,000 children in this school system.
Yeah.
Just divorce now. I'm not talking drug addictions and all these other things, but just divorce. Do you know how many kids could be in that school messed up like I was when you lose your mother?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like, hello? So
Yeah.
all I did was act up. All I did was act up.
I'm going to read you this text.
They had no other way to discipline me, and I still think teachers are underpaid. Thank you for letting me finish that
Sure.
way.
I got this text that he's
Oh.
using names, or she's using names, and we're not going to use names, but it says back in the early 80s, the school somebody at the school used to grab kids, the troublemakers, by the jacket, slam them against the lockers. Nothing but the utmost respect for this guy. He was awesome. So,
Yeah,
but that was the way of the world back then.
it was, and
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for your comment, but we can't use names. So.
Right.
no,
Right.
but when it's the second biggest issue in our schools, and I know time's running out here, it's the second biggest issue in the lower school system.
Sure.
How
sure.
to control children. That's
Sure,
all.
sure.
It's a big problem, and teachers are having a hard time doing it. Thank
So-
God they got paraprofessionals, and thank God they're finally going to pay them. That's all. Thank
That's
you.
right. Good. We're going to break in 20 seconds, John.
Yeah, I'm going as fast as I can. I closed the window I shouldn't have closed. These things happen. Oh, we still have 9 seconds. I might make it.
All right.
Can't wait to have some turkey, huh?
Oh,
we got
stuffing
it.
it.
Yes, thank you.
We're going to break in 20 seconds, John?
Yeah. these things happen. Hold on a second, I might make it. All right. Can't wait to have some.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the November 26th Thanksgiving week edition of City Life. With us this morning is our usual co-host, Bob Hoey, our guest, Dave Aldrich. Not with us this morning is Ned Tarmey. Ned is resting up after, well, he has something bad happened to him, but we miss you, Ned. I hope you come back soon. We've talked about maybe Zoom with you, so I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving and you get more healthy. So, Dave, welcome to the show, first time on. Why don't you tell us, you're a developer, why don't you tell us a little about what you do, what you've done in law, a lot of development in law, I'm assuming? Is that what it sounds like?
Thanks.
Sure.
And thanks for having me.
Sure.
Yes, so I'm one of the founders and the chairman of the board of Project Compass. Project Compass, with a K, by the way, is a nonprofit organization headquartered in North Chelmsford and in Lowell. We have multiple facilities, and we focus on youth. Youth in the city, youth in the area of Merrimack Valley. We provide transitional housing for women ages 18 to 24. These are people who come to us who are previously homeless. We have another home right on Nesmith Street in Lowell that provides housing for moms and babies, and a lot of wraparound services in both of those organizations. And we just recently purchased 192 Appleton Street, which is right next to Hafner's, down the street from the diner, from the Owl's Diner. And that's going to be our outreach center. We have a lot of plans for that. We're going to go through some renovation. I'm happy to talk about that more. But we're essentially a youth-oriented nonprofit here in the city and surrounding areas, providing a lot of wraparound services, and including housing to folks who need it the most.
Great.
Well, if you don't mind, Tom?
Go ahead, Bob. Go ahead.
You know, I know Dave for quite a while now, going back to when he just bought a piece of land up in New Hampshire, I believe, and it's a farm and a place where you can bring kids up. He brings kids up there to learn about farm life, which I always loved. But what I loved most about meeting him was when his mission, or what he was trying to do, was for women between 18 and 24. I only bring it up because I was a 20-year prison guard, and I'm telling you, there's no place for women. There's just no place. If you get in trouble as a woman, you're going to Framingham. A man has 1,000 places they can send. So when I heard that, I said, oh, this is a good one. And I've always been a person to jump aboard my favorite ones, and I'm not going to put Project Compass there yet, even though my sister helps you running with Kathy and all the help that you have. I'm not going to put you above Coalition A Better Acre, Young Jew Chow yet, okay? But the role you're on, buying this building next to Hafner's, all we talk about in here, Dave, is the South Common, what we need to do. So I just want to I would say to you, be cautious on every move that you do make, because you want to look at every issue, meaning from what would be a good one. People just not throwing litter around in front of businesses. I mean, there's all kinds of issues I could say. And to me, you've got to be careful of what you're going to draw there. That's all. If you continue to think like that with youth and 18 to 24-year-old females, you'll never be wrong. Stay right on those tracks. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm happy to have you here, of course. I'm excited. I had to bring up young Ju Chow's name because I know she's someone that could always give you some help or just information. So you might as well use all your good cards. That's what I'm doing right now. And if you have anything at all you want to talk about, call up young Ju Chow. I know you can do that. She'll let you do it too.
So you're a
good luck.
What am I trying to say? Organization.
Correct.
Do you deal with the homeless at all, or is that a separate
So
entity?
everyone who comes to our facilities, whether it's the parenting program or the transitional housing program, every one of them comes to us in one form or another homeless.
Okay.
We take referrals from lots of agencies in the city. You mentioned Young Jew. We have lots of referral sources. We have self-referrals now. We have an extensive website. And we provide not only housing, we provide a stable environment where people can stay up to 18 months. They pay nothing, although they do save. They do give back to the community. That's one of our requirements. They get financial literacy training. They get basic life skills training. And I will say that virtually no one is only homeless. People come to us having experienced a great deal of trauma, whether it's through the foster care system, whether it's through abuse, sex trafficking, unfortunately, I have to say. So one of the things that we do is we allow for an extended period of time for people to get to know us, for us to get to know them, so that we can tailor a program that provides for them a path towards more independent living. Our success rate has been quite high. It's not perfect, but it's not high. And when I get a chance, I'd like to mention to you the new building, because one thing I will say, our mission is to try to transform the life of people who come into our program in whatever way we can, in very customized way. So this facility on 192 is going to be a community-oriented organization, a place for people to go. We have no interest in facilitating issues around abuse.
Right.
Our issue and our mission is to help people who want to be helped with a path forward to independence. So that's what we're going to be doing, is developing programming that allows us to identify those people who say, look, I've had issues. I may be on the street. I may be, couch surfing. I may be avoiding an abusive situation. But when I come to Project Compass, whether it's on 192 Appleton or one of our other two facilities, I'm going there because I've committed to improving my life. And I'm looking for help in which to do that.
Sure.
We're not enablers. We're people who are trying to transform.
And by the
2
way,
doors down from you, I'm sure you know it, is your Hafner's is
Right.
the Salvation Army, which
Yep.
I'm heavily involved with. And you probably, I don't know if you've dealt with the majors at all, but maybe there's somebody you could reach out with, because they do a lot of some of the work you do, as
Yeah.
far as helping the kids and the poor and the needy and the homeless as
Yep.
best they can. And but that's just another great organization. It sounds like yours is too. So,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bobby.
David, this is the facility we're talking
Wait.
about on the screen? On the TV?
Is that your building?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the front of, it's not a great shot, but it's the front of the building, yes.
Okay, that's off of Google Earth, but go ahead, Bobby.
yeah, well, that's why, and we got till 8 o'clock, so you got plenty of time to say anything you want to say, Dave, okay? But I just want to, because I feel like you're my brother, not a stranger to me. You've brought a piece of property in the prime zone, really, of all our big issues, meaning homeless, drugs, alcohol, divorce, you name it, every issue and their brother is there. And I just want you to be concerned about that issue, meaning attract only the people that you need. How you're going to do it, I don't have a clue. But I think it's a big part of what you're going to go through. Police, I would want to be with the police. I would want to get with the housing authority, because it's all in that general area that we're all trying to fix. We've been talking about this issue in your district. The district you bought is what, District 4, John?
We
The district you're in?
John's running in?
Yeah.
Yeah, District 4.
No, I didn't want to say that, but this district has some really serious issues, and like a brother, I'm just telling you to have your antennas up. I know you're sharp enough, I ain't worried about that, but you have a lot with the police, the housing, the whole 9 yards. I would get people like that involved with you, you know?
Do you have any idea of what the success rate is in your organization as far as getting, say somebody comes in that door and they
Yep.
walk out 6 months later a new person or
Yep.
better off? And
That's a great question. So
Yeah.
we've had pushing 110 residents in our facilities, in our two facilities today. We got our 501c3 in January of 2020. So we're about 4.5 years having been able to accept residents in. We've
Sure.
had over 100, maybe 110. I would say, and we do track this extensively, and our board demands it from us, we have a success rate of in the 75 to 80% range. Now, success for us means that someone who has come to us, having experienced homelessness, couch surfing, whatever, they've been able to establish a goal plan. They've been able to more or less follow that plan, not perfectly in some cases. We have to be agile. And they've left us with a place to go that is stable, that is safe, and that they're excited about. They've saved money, they've learned about financial literacy, they've learned about basic home care, but I think most importantly, they've learned to address the issues that perhaps brought them to us or helped to bring them to us in the first place.
Sure.
So I would say about 75 to
Wow.
80%.
That's great.
So
That's
is
great.
there one on the building on Appleton Street? It's on the screen now. It's a satellite shot of the area. This is the building here, for the people in the towns don't know where this is. This is Appleton Street. Let me draw in the Owl Diner. Everybody knows where the Owl Diner is. So the Owl Diner is right here, just to give you, familiarize yourself. The Durkins is down here. Here's the Salvation Army building.
Yep.
This is Hafner's, just to familiarize yourself. Now, this is the facility that you bought on Appleton Street. Is this whole thing yours? This one, and these three?
Yes, I have to say, it's about 8,500, 8,800 square feet. It's a
Wow.
very big facility. It has 2 lots. And we've put a great deal of thought into where we want it to be. We've
How
looked
about
for...
this green space here? Is this yours too?
No.
Okay, so
No,
just
no.
where I can see the roofs. That's
Yeah,
your building.
and
Gotcha.
our land extends over to the right, almost to those pumps.
Oh, okay, this is
Oh,
all
wow.
yours too, so you can plenty
Yes,
of parking?
that parking along there, the parking in the front, and the little driveway over on the other side.
Over here?
Yes, correct.
Okay, good, so tell us more.
So it's about 80, I think it's 8,800 square feet. It was recently measured. But we put a lot of thought into this space because as we have been operating these residential facilities, we have found that there is so much need and so much insecurity around housing, around food, around safety, that we can't house enough people. And our experience with our operations going out and supporting, we support about 40 different families now with food, with essentials, people who have come to us, we've gotten to know. And we're really excited about providing different kinds of services where we could partner, some of our partners could have offices in that building. We can cook in that building, it's a commercial kitchen. We can have people come to us and become screened about what it is that maybe they're lacking in their lives. And we can help them with a program that could uplift them. And I do think it will be a challenge because that area does have a lot of folks who have nowhere to go or who are abusing drugs, abusing alcohol. And as I said earlier, we have no interest in enabling, but we do want to be able to have a safe haven place for people to go who are looking for services, who are looking for help and support. We've got a great, albeit small staff.
I was going to say, how much of a staff do you have? Do you have big
Well,
staff,
we've got,
small staff?
we have a small staff of
Okay.
5 or 6.
All right,
But
that's-
then we have a lot of volunteers,
Right.
and we're hiring. So we really rely upon our board, upon the community.
What kind of employees are you looking for?
So we recently hired a maintenance person. Obviously, we need that.
We all need maintenance, yeah.
We all need maintenance. We've got multiple
And
buildings.
cleanliness at the same time.
And they tend to be old. The buildings tend to be old and imperfect. So we've had a lot of volunteers to help there. But we've got people who do case management, both volunteers and paid staff. We've got an operations manager who does basically everything.
Where do they go to work every day?
They go to work right now in North Chelmsford.
Okay, so they don't work from home, they go to North Chester.
They go to
Gotcha.
North Chelmsford. And they're going to begin to go to Appleton Street. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to vacate the office complex that we have in North Chelmsford, and we're going to move that to Appleton Street.
Okay.
It's going to give us more space for mom and babies in North Chelmsford and in Lowell.
Good.
And I should mention that our executive director, who you know well, Ms. Ronnie Hoey, she's full-time, she was my co-founder, and we put this whole idea together after doing tons of research about where there were gaps in offering, where there were gaps in services. We gotten to know Tom Goldman and Johnny over at the City Hall, and we've really,
Yeah, Rodney was a big help, too.
Yeah,
I'm glad
Rodney's on our board.
yeah.
You have a board of
Rodney's-
directors?
we do.
So, yeah,
The board of directors
Great.
is
Rodney's a
terrific.
great guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's beautiful.
You-
He pat me on the arm about my sister Ronnie.
Move that
okay?
mic, Bobby.
My mic? Yeah. He pat me on the arm about my sister Ronnie, okay? And Ronnie and I are from night and day. And I just respect this man, Dave, right here next to me more than anything in the world because of his mission, what he's trying to do. And what I'm afraid of on this property, I'm not, Nesmith Street, out of Middlesex Street, your 2 properties there, the reason why they're so successful is where they're at, where they're located at. That helps big time.
No, management
Well-
helps. Management's a big deal. Bob.
The one that I concern the most is the one he just bought, because if you do things like, let me give you an example, showers, because they already had showers, outside showers there, the state had them there, and let's say you do a warming stations type of thing, and that's fine, I don't care anything you do, but you got to be careful of that in that area, those type of things, because then you'll attract the people you're not looking for. You know, you're looking for someone that's begging for help. Really, that's how I feel. If I knew I had enough of this and I got to go somewhere, that's when you want someone to go to your new place. I think you're unbelievable to even do this, to go there. That's how tough of a job you have. And I just want you to be cautious. That's why I'm sounding like I am, Dave.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm not trying to scare you in any way, shape, or form. I'm with you. I'll be standing down there and you have people that are fighting for you, the same issues like Eric gets you on your city council. Get in touch with a guy like him. John McDonough right here. This is a businessman
Well,
right
look,
here.
let me just,
Well,
on your,
go ahead.
on your
Wendy-
sister, Bobby,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. She got her looks to me, no doubt
She's
about
better
it.
looking than you, like your
I
sister,
don't,
like
I
your
don't
sister
know,
Charmaine.
I don't know how secret the location is up in Belvedere, so we're not gonna say where it
Yeah.
is, but, she's my neighbor.
Right.
This building's my neighbor. And, we, were apprehensive when we heard what was going on, and Bobby said, hey, it's my sister. Any problem, here's her cell phone number, call her up, and she'll take care of it right away. That place is calmer now
Right.
than it was yesteryear.
Yeah.
And so it's just, you guys run a great operation, Ronnie does a fantastic job, and never a problem. So I can assure my business neighbors down on Appleton Street, this is a windfall for the,
Well, I
all
think-
the down on Appleton
Is the
Street.
place up and
Congratulations.
running, and when you
it's
plan,
not. So-
how long is it going to take you?
So it's going to take probably 6 months. We're
Okay,
gonna open-
renovations
We're going
and-
to open it in phases.
Yep.
But I do want to make one point, that while we will certainly, we understand and recognize where we bought, we looked around for a long time, this is in the middle of where we need to be. We want to create a community center that will allow us to foster our mission outside of the residential space initially. We may do that longer term. We may have opportunities for there to be shelters for certain types of folks. But this isn't supporting just what's over on the South Common and on Appleton Street and South Street. This is for the entire community. So we're going to be supporting people in and out of that building. We're going to bring new blood into that building, and we're going to find you, and I think you will be surprised that among the folks who were there or who frequent that part of the city, There are an awful lot of people who have aspirations, they have hopes, and they need help. And they need a hand, and they need a leg up. And you just mentioned Ronnie and the rest of our staff. These people are pretty uniquely capable, compassionate, and dedicated to sort of rooting out those areas that we can leverage where they have aspirations, where perhaps they need to understand how to have a checkbook, how to save money, how to maintain a lifestyle. This is not about supporting the area homeless. This is about supporting the community with a resource. And I think you will see, first of all, surprising success with some of the folks who are in the area, but you're going to see a whole local community that are going to be able to access this group. With
When I
staff.
hear you speak, I say, thank God. Because my sister Ronnie, no one's going to tell me about it. There's no one with a better heart. Nobody. I've seen this girl do things that
Bob, you want to read this one?
Yeah, he picks on me about reading because I couldn't read in school either, but that's okay. I love the guy. It's a sad situation when we don't have enough housing and help for Americans, but we bring in illegal aliens and give them everything. Make that make sense. Politicians create a problem so that they can pretend they don't want to fix it. Yeah, we could blame it all on the politicians, that's for sure. We could blame them. It's easy to do that. Point at the school committee guy, point at the city council. Get up and do some things like this gentleman's doing next to me. I don't have the money to do what he's doing, but thank God he's doing it. And you know what? You're gonna. I don't want to sound like a critic, because a few things I said today, it's only for you, buddy. This show's yours. This guy here, he don't care when you want to come back. You got something to talk about? Come talk to the people over here. You're welcome. But I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything. I'm going to give you my opinion so it goes in your brain. That's all, Dave. That's all. So sorry if I said a few things that maybe was.
I'm on the advisory board for the Salvation Army. I'm also on the board of directors for the Bridge Club.
Oh, wow.
Does your organization have events when we have a breakfast every year, the Salvation Army, and then the Bridge Club has a St. Patrick's Day started up breakfast type thing. Does your organization do things like that to raise money to? You have a nonprofit, obviously, right? So-
Yes. So we, and just one interesting point.
Sure.
I think you folks might find different. We have to date not accepted any federal or state money. It's all been private money.
Wow.
From the board of directors, from various family foundations, from individuals, friends, and family. In fact, half of the folks we've been interacting with, started this organization, worked with me at a prior company. These are folks who have decided, look, I've had enough of the public sphere, and I want to help. I want to give back. And so they have big hearts. Fortunately, some have big checkbooks, and so we've been able to do this by and large on our own. Having said that, and support of family foundations and a lot of wonderful local organizations and companies, we have an annual Halloween event, which we just had over at Princeton Station. We had about
Okay, yeah, I
180
know
people
Bob was
there.
talking about that, yeah.
Yeah. And we also have lots of drives in the community where we go out and do outreach and support. We have Kathy Moriarty, who's our operations director. She's out there each week. She's supporting about 40 families now in the area who have contacted us or have been referred to us. So that outreach thought process that we had has matured over 3.5 years and culminated in this as an opportunity for us to center that action. And we're really very excited about it.
Great.
I know another issue I'd like to talk about, Tom. Dave, why don't you tell us what you think about something I like, the Wish Project? Just say a few minutes, maybe a few words about that place.
Sure. Well, Alice Moore is a friend of mine. Priscilla is a friend of mine. They do wonderful work. So we each year partner with them, and we get a basket of wishes. That's what they call them, wishes. And so we're able to have some of our residents, many of our residents, in fact, over time, have been able to take a wish, go into that facility, and get all kinds of essentials that will help them outfit their new apartment or their new home. They've been a wonderful, wonderful partner to us. We donate to them. They refer to us. We refer to them. We've become very, very, very close. And I think the work that they do in the city and in the area is just amazing. Thousands and thousands of people are getting help through the efforts of the Wish Project. At Christmas time, they do wonderful things. At Thanksgiving, they do wonderful things. They do great stuff for students with backpacks at the beginning of each year. It's really, I think, probably a relatively modest budget, I would imagine, but they do amazing work. Merrimack Valley Food Bank as another example, they are a partner of ours. They provide food and sustenance items for our people.
Right.
And they've been a wonderful, wonderful partner.
I just come up with a great idea for you too when you open your new facility. Maybe you can get your other facilities or any children or young teenagers not doing anything and come down and help the businesses by just cleaning trash. That's a big issue in that area, just to clean the trash up. Maybe something like that you could get volunteers for.
Yeah, in fact, today when I leave here, I've got a couple of things I'm going to do. One is we have an abandoned car that's being abused on the property, so I've got to work with our friends at the police force to get that removed. That's a problem. But we're also meeting one of the managers who had worked at that facility in the past called the Night Owls, worked overnight for people who were availing themselves of the shelter. She's going to meet me there. We're going to be introduced to some folks, or a person, or a couple of people, who are going to be able to help us clean up. Because one thing we want to do is, I believe if you have a broken window, you fix it. If you got trash or garbage, you fix it. If you've got somebody out in front of your building who needs help, who looks inebriated or whatever, you help them. And I think by cleaning up our little section of the city is going to gain, we're going to gain some respect, and the street's going to gain some respect. So
And that is a problem down there. I mean, like I say, the Salvation Army's 2 doors over, and I've seen it when I go down to my meetings down there. If I stop in, I pick up a kettle. There's some people down there. People are afraid to go down there in that area. Even like to the Salvation Army, we have night meetings, and in the spring and summer it's okay, but come the dark times, a lot of the women and even some of the men are afraid because they're approached for money. I've heard some horror stories, so that might be a problem for you with people afraid to come to your place because of that situation.
Well,
I know they do have a policeman
they do.
on the beat. Now, full disclosure, it's my nephew. He's a police officer, although he's got that route now, and that helps, I think. But
police can't do it all.
Yeah.
This is a policing problem for security and safety, and I'm sure they're going to be wonderful partners of ours. The city manager's been wonderful with us. We've gotten to know a lot of people. They've been very, very supportive of what we're trying to do. But I think as we provide a clean, secure environment, we keep the place picked up, and we begin to invite with our own people. We're going to go there that's going to be our office. So we're going to provide. It's an example. We're going to example by doing. So we're going to show up there every day. We're going to have our automobiles out there. We're going to have the place well lit. We're going to have cameras. We're going to have security.
Sure.
But we're also going to have. I think we're going to gain a reputation of being a place where people can go if they're interested in some level of rehabilitation, and if they want to make their life better. If they don't, if they're looking for needles, that's not us. A cook kit, that's not us. If you're looking for help, that very well may be us.
Your neighbor's awesome too, Hafner's, right next to you, good people. They hire some great staff. I use that place frequently. And for years, they just had to live with it. Business across the street from Hafner's. Every day they have to come in and live with a ton of trash all over the place.
Yeah.
And I know good things are going to come from you, buddy. I know it for sure. But boy, you got your hands full. I might even have to volunteer going down to help you pick up some trash. I don't feel good about it, but I might have to. My wife or Ronnie or Kathy's one of my favorites with you guys. You know that because of food, strictly. Kathy keeps me healthy.
Well, and you mentioned Michelle.
Yeah.
Your wife, she has done so much for it. What a talented, creative person. She's come in and taken these old balusters in a 130-year-old building and somehow been able to fashion rotted wood and make it nice.
Wow.
These facilities, if you walk into them, they're like a home.
Yeah.
We put a lot of time and effort in making them clean, but making them warm and inviting. So you have to put some time and energy into it, and Michelle's been one of those people. She's been marvelous.
I know she thanks you for that.
What was in that building before
It was a nursing home at one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, then it was my father's place, so they provided housing for pregnant women or new moms with a religious orientation. So they were looking to provide an alternative to abortion, frankly.
Sure.
That's not our play, but it has an annex with 9 bedrooms in it, and then it's a 3-story old Victorian. It's another big facility.
And what was in this facility on Apple Street before?
It was an organization called Life Connection Center.
Okay, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
So it's a nonprofit.
And yes, we were talking about the dealings of I always talk about it every week. I have the scanner on at home all the time. It's got to be every day, 2 or 3 times.
Owner or former occupant of that facility was terrible with managing the whole issue down there. It was a circus, and I'm glad it's changing hands. Tommy, you want to read this one?
It's easy to blame the politicians and political system in Massachusetts. It's a one-party rule state run by the Speaker of the House. Any opposition will be crushed. Look at the way they tried to do to Karen. Look how they're treating the audit. They have zero respect for the voters. I have zero respect for the State House and its elected hacks, and that's a good point. I mean, I hate to say it, and some of my friends are in that House of Representatives, but it's a very good point.
So, David, I've been sitting over here basically waiting for 30 minutes to go past. So it's 7:30, we got a half an hour left. So this is the facility you bought on Appleton Street. We're looking at right here. So just to give the audience an idea what it looks like, it's next to Hafner's. The Owl Diner is right up here. Here's the I used to call it the Lemon Tree Store. I don't know what they call it now. But this is the facility you bought. And your intentions, or your organization's intentions, what is this building going to be utilized in the first 12 months? And then you can move on to the second year.
So we're going to move our offices there and free up space for more moms and babies in our other facilities, number one. We do have to do some extensive renovations. We need a sprinkler system. We need to do a little bit more than touch up and paint. There's a bank of bathrooms that are a bit of a mess. I mean, they were utilitarian at the time, but I think the mission was a little bit confusing, or it's a little confusing to me. So we are going to provide office space, we're going to do some renovation, and we're going to begin to do our community outreach from that facility. So the work that Kathy and the team have been doing, supporting local families, we're going to do that. The individuals who are referred to us where we don't have housing, or they perhaps don't fit our model, maybe they're older than 24. You know, the need doesn't end at 24 years old, it doesn't begin at 18. So our age is going to be broader than that. We don't have to focus on females only, because this is going to be an outreach, an outsource. This isn't going to be where people live. We have the opportunity to do that. So we're working on the programming now. We've dealt with a lot of, we've been interacting with a lot of organizations in the area that have complementary missions, and we're going to offer space to them. So we'll have partner offices. So you can picture someone coming in saying, look, you know, I'm tired of this lifestyle, or I've been referred to somebody else, I'm in an unsafe housing situation. They come to us and say, look, you know, what do you need? Well, we need some support to get raft. I don't know how to do that. We may have a partner agency who could do that. We need clothing. We need food and sustenance, because I'm not able to support myself. I don't know how to save money, that sort of thing. We're going to be able to have, between the experiences that we've brought to our residents, as well as partners, we're going to be able to have an outlet, if you will, or a conduit to the services that are going to help them get what they need. It won't be for everybody, because you have to commit to wanting help. We're not supporting, we're not enabling, we're helping. So there's going to be a whole myriad of services. You know, you mentioned the city council of the state of Massachusetts. Vanna Howard's been very active and very supportive of us, as has Rodney Elliott. And we'll just continue to leverage that. We're looking for areas that are being underserved today, with folks who don't go to the Lowell Transition Center, perhaps because they find it's not for them, but they find themselves in other situations and they need help.
Do you have any people connected to you, Dave, for psychiatry, mental health type of stuff?
We do.
You do?
We do. That's a big part of it, Bob.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, people not coming to us was simply being homeless. If I could find a path towards a warm home, I'd be okay. So we're finding as they settle in, they need a lot of support. So we do.
And you've had a good success rate, would you say, with helping these people?
Yeah.
Pretty good success rate?
I think it's been an excellent, I think
Okay,
it's been a
great.
phenomenal success rate. As I
Great.
said, you know, about 80%, which is unbelievable. But it often depends upon your intake, right? Because the success we have has to be because we know the folk that's coming in have some motivation. When we have failed, and we failed more frequently early on,
Yep.
somebody may have a mental health problem that we can't address. We just don't have the resources to do severe mental health problems. Addiction, we don't support addiction. Hey, Ron.
Surprise guest. Rodney Elliott's in the house.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Sit down, Bobby. I'll fix this in a second. Proceed.
Well, State Representative Rodney Elliott has joined us, former mayor, former city councilor, housing commissioner. What else?
I know, you got it down pretty good. You got it down better than me.
And Project Compass board member.
Yeah,
there we
which brings
go.
me here, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Welcome, Rodney.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks
for
for coming in.
having me. You know, Dave texted me, or sent me an email the other, I think it was Sunday, and I'd forgotten that I made that commitment to come on here to talk about Project Compass, but happy to do so, change a few things around, because Dave, as you know, and Bobby knows, he does amazing work for an amazing organization that I think is just in its infancy, and I joined the board, so, because, Dave does amazing work and contributions
Sounds that way,
to
we
this.
just talked about this morning.
So this is the least that I can do to get myself going and come and join Dave.
Great. He's given us a lot of, we've talked about his organization, he's given us our insight. Bob's sister's involved
And
with the
Bob's
organization.
sister, right, exactly.
And how many members on your board?
We have 8.
8.
7? I guess if I include myself and Ronnie, Ronnie's on the board also. And by the way, I got to give a shout out to our executive director, Ronnie
Oh,
Hoey.
yeah.
She does all the heavy lifting.
Right.
And is just marvelous. So I couldn't and wouldn't do this.
That's key to any
without
organization, having
Absolutely.
somebody at the helm like that.
An executive director.
It's dedicated to it, you know.
Well, we started thinking about doing something to pay it forward 5 years or so ago, and it really was a lot of thought and a lot of effort went into trying to figure out what is the right need and where are the gaps, and so we're very happy with it.
Tony, you want to read this one?
Housing,
Get you.
housing is not the answer for mental illness. A large population of the unhoused have mental illness and need treatment, but it is their option according to our failed court system that is doing nothing to help. The right to fail is real.
And I'm going to ask him what that video's about, but he suggested we watch that video from Frontline. I got no mic, so that's...
Sure.
Back to you, Tony.
Sure.
Anyways, let's say this about Eric Gitcher. Rodney was a city council for quite a while. I can say I haven't seen too many city councils outworking a guy like Eric Gitcher, for sure. Rodney, I know how hard you fought for opiate problems, just that alone. I don't know if we ever scored any money because of that, but I know how much you fought for that. And I just want to keep saying the name Eric Gitcher right now, because with Dave here, he's definitely someone you're going to want to communicate with, Dave. He's just a city councilor, but someone that's on top of the South Common issue, which all of us are, especially the producer of this show. And you know you're welcome here. Just call John and you're welcome to come on if anything needs to be done or said. Just make sure. I wanted to throw that out, that I know you can get a lot of help right here. Just so you know.
Yeah, no, we actually started the opioid task force I'd say at the height of the overdose epidemic, and interestingly enough, data across the country that fatalities are on the decline the first time, and like I said, maybe it does.
It's a start.
Whatever it is,
It's good
to started
news.
tracking that information, but it's a start, which by no means indicates that the problem is going away. And I don't want to be. I'm being cautious, at least to say it's on the decline, and at least there's an opportunity for us to stem that tide, which was at that point in time. And that opioid task force still meets to this day, which
Wow.
Makes some sense. But as Bob mentioned, and we did, by the way, we did get some money from Big Pharma from that class action lawsuit that we joined as a result of the motion that I had brought up. So that's good news. We're far from out of the water, but to speak to Eric's text or message, I don't think there's any single easy answer to mental illness or substance abuse. What I do think is sometimes there is a coagulation of both of those issues, and maybe at some point in time there is, but I think that to some degree they're mutually exclusive. Not all homeless people are using substance abuse, and not all mental health people are they're not all, anyway, I don't want to get into the weeds, but I do think that the state, and we can't do it alone. It's a national problem, and, maybe Massachusetts is highlighted a little bit more because we do provide a lot more services than some of our neighboring states. But, the old model, I'll say, of mental health hospitals, it was broke then. We can build more hospitals, but it's going to fail again because I don't think that the state can do a very good job in running mental health institutions. That doesn't mean that we're not going to have any. I mean, Tewksbury State Hospital, I know there was something in the agenda a couple of weeks ago about, asking a delegation to do something. We haven't received the letter yet, but I actually took the opportunity, it was about 4 or 5 months ago, to go to Tewksbury Hospital. I took a tour with the director of, I don't know, he's a lead doctor there, and I took a tour. He showed me a facility. It needs help. It's an old facility, and I don't want to say institution, but yeah, they could use more beds. There's 900 acres in Tewksbury. The town of Tewksbury has concerns about, people walking off the campus, understandably so. The hospital has some concerns about some of the patients that are being sent there, by the judges. But to speak to his point, is the judicial system broke? I'll just bring up the Bishop Markham issue that that I went and spoke at the city council meeting about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, the South Common problem migrates through Bishop Markham, and it's not all elderly, but there's a lot of elderly there, and it's a problem. And that's not the only problem. We do have tenants that do open the door for homeless. They come in, they urinate. It's a mess, and the people that live there shouldn't have to deal with that. So we're working on it. We have a police precinct there. But it's the council. I've been asked a few times, would you have supported that ordinance of homeless folks can't camp on public property? And I would say yes, not because we're trying to. It's just kind of the next step. The council and the administration have done as much as they can. And by the way, people say, well, what is the state doing? The state is funding homeless programs across the spectrum to the tune of approximately $1.2 billion. So we'll continue to work on it, but I'm going to stop there. I've been rambling a little bit, but
okay.
We're on it.
It's all right.
Ronnie, I got to chastise the state, okay? You guys use your get out of jail free card. We're funding this, we're funding this, with no check on their excellence. We're writing you a check, okay? And you go help whoever you want to help and pay your executive director $500,000 a year. Here's a big fact, because we feel good, we help the homeless. State fails to check on the excellence of that organization. What's their end game? Their end game is having served on a bunch of boards to help the homeless. It's all about increasing business and getting more money for us. The homeless, in their attitude, many of them, is it's never going away. So I know it's hard to get stuff done down the State House, but you might consider asking your colleagues, let's check, what's the end game with these people? Are we fueling a fire that's never going to burn out? When you fund these homeless organizations? I'll listen to your response.
I don't think we're trying to take the easy way out. That's sort of the implication.
Bobby, give me your mic. His mic shut off.
I mean,
Bobby, give me your mic. His mic shut off.
I don't think
How do you check on excellence?
I don't agree that we're just, throwing money at a problem and hoping that it's going away. If you look at the housing bond bill, there are a myriad of policy as well as funding mechanisms, as well as homelessness. I mean, we can only adopt programs and we execute them through the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. There's emergency assistance. There's the RAF program. So there's a multitude of reasons why there is homelessness. I guess to get to your point, we do appropriate money for organizations that are responsible for, like, your CTI or your you know all the agencies around
Bernie,
here.
Bernie, I got you, but the state is.
I don't know what you mean about excellence.
Okay,
We do as much as we can.
Let's
We
slide
can't.
over to the MBTA. The MB.
No, let's stick to homelessness.
No, and.
We're going to
let's
keep
talk-
you focused.
let's talk-
What would you like the state to do? And I'll put it on you because I'm happy to.
Sure.
I don't think we have all the answers.
I'm happy to tell you. What's your end game? What's your end game to end homelessness? What is your end? You have to ask the organization, what is your end game?
Let's go back to my earlier statement. I know we'd like to be able to explain that there's a silver bullet, or there's one particular, or two, or three, let's say 5 methods to address the homelessness program and housing crisis, but there isn't. It's a
There
fact of
certainly-
life.
there
There's a
certainly
multitude,
is.
there's a multitude of issues why people are homeless and why people can't get housing.
What's
And
going to happen,
There's not one soundbite for it, John.
what I'd
you
like
know.
you to listen to, Rodney, is what's going to happen is you've got to get Elizabeth Warren, Ed Markey, Lori Trahan in one room and say, look, we have to take away these people's rights for 6 months. And there's a way that can happen. We're going to have to take, their EBT card is gone. We're going to keep their EBT money and give them care. We're going to force them into housing. And until that happens, when you give a person who doesn't enjoy the mental capacity that we both enjoy every day, free reign they're going to make their own decisions when we know they can't. And we subsidize this by giving them an EBT card. But it's going to take Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey to change that rule. Thoughts?
I have some
I'm a
thoughts.
state rep. Go ahead. I'm not a member of the Congress, so it's good to think in hypotheticals. Yeah, that was. Let's be practical. Is that going to happen? It's in my opinion, that's not a path that is going to solve the problem. But I also don't think that those individuals are going to take up that cause with that. This has been litigated, or it's at least been decided by the Supreme Judicial Court. You can't take away people's rights if they don't want the help. I mean, the legislature tried it. I know under Governor Baker, they tried to do a 72-hour requirement that they, if they're picked up, if they're brought to an emergency department, and, A, it didn't pass, and B, it's not constitutional. And, thirdly, what the state did do is they adopted the access to better care. And right now, when individuals, homeless, mental ill, substance abuse, when they're brought to the emergency department, rather than have a nurse watch someone for 24 hours, they are triaged to a place called VinFen right across the street. And there are temporary beds. There's 21 beds, 14 for youth, 7 for adult, and they're given a path to the proper services they need. They're not just held there for 24 hours, perhaps against their will, and they're let out on the street. So I think that's the model that works. It's expensive, it's time-consuming, and it takes a long time to get folks back on the path, but institutionalization or taking away things that are keeping them alive, I'm not sure that's the best path, and I don't know if there's any legislative support on the state level, federal, or maybe even
Thank
the
you for your
local level.
response, Rodney. There's nobody better at this than you are. God bless you. Thank you.
Can I say
I'm
something?
just trying to be practical, that's all.
I'd like to just say a quick word.
You decided to
I'm
get up
gonna
this
move
morning,
this-
come down here, remember that?
Well, but yours is working. It's working.
Oh, it is? Okay. All I want to say about the whole issue is, to me, everything, when it comes to politics, is local. Fix our own problems. And let's give this mayor, the city council, some credit, right? They're going after fixing our biggest problem, and it's the South Common. And so far, so good. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. I don't worry too much, nothing against you, Rodney, because you're a very local type of state rep. I see you everywhere, and just keep up the work you're doing. That's all I can tell you. But as far as I'm concerned, local politics is the best, and we're doing a pretty good job at it right now. But to me, the person that's here today, Dave Aldrich, next to Rodney, they're coming in here and doing it on their own. This ain't state, this ain't federal help, because I agree with you, John. Federal government, state government, it's nothing like local government.
Mr. Bomo, read this one.
The State House loves to throw money at everything with no accountability. It keeps their friends employed and voting blue forever.
Okay.
So back over to the
Yeah,
individual Dave
and
now.
so, Tom, just let me hit
Yeah.
Dave with a thing
Yeah.
about, I brought up Coalition of Better Acre before Rodney got here and young Ju Chow. The first time I ever met her and I found out, people say, oh, that's nonprofit, another nonprofit, they don't pay any taxes, they don't do this, they don't do that. Well, young Jew was paying quite a bit of taxes when they found out. I'm not sure if you're the same type of nonprofit as she was, totally different, putting up veterans' houses and stuff like that. She actually put, I believe I'm right, more housing in this area than the federal government did. That's how many houses and places she put for people to sleep. But it's the biggest issue to me is rent. Where can they find a place to live? And you're going to help people try to do that by saving. Go ahead, just,
So we're friends with Yunju, the great organization. We're not developers, so we're not building affordable housing. That's not our mission. And I think that, listening to this conversation, I think that it's very easy and very visible to focus on the folks who are living in tents on the South Common, or to focus on the homeless folks who are there, who have a myriad of issues, including substance abuse and alcohol abuse. When we broaden the scope, you mentioned housing, there is a massive problem and a growing problem with the lack of affordability. There are families who are homeless. There are young women who are homeless that won't go to the transitional center. They'd rather put themselves in some awful harm's way situation because they can't fathom going into the place where they feel that they might be abused or where they feel it's not right for them. Those people are hidden. There are 4 million unhoused youth in the country, and I think that's understated. I think they hide from view. So what we're trying to do is not necessarily provide a safe haven for people who are out on the South Common. That's not our mission. But there are families that we're interacting with now that are beautiful people that just need help. They need help saving money. They need help accessing the great services that are out there at the federal and state level that are very complicated. It's not easy to qualify and apply for RAFT. It's not easy to get food funneled through the Merrimack Valley Food Bank, through some organization to feed your family. It might be easy to walk in and get a meal, but it's not as easy to have food in your refrigerator for that young child going to school.
Bobby, you want to read this
And
one?
then,
I got 2 here.
Fred Wilkie, good morning. The question I have, housing you indicated you can provide. That to me would be the hardest to fulfill. Just curious where they could go.
And then Ronnie's.
Yeah, Ronnie, two great guys representing.
I'm not sure which two.
Oh, hey, believe me, it's you
I'm not
and,
sure which
it's
two.
you and Rodney.
I want to just make
Go
a
ahead,
comment
Tom.
about homeless and Rodney's point about they have rights, and they do. And I think there's maybe 2 or 3 different type of homeless. There's the homeless that are down and out, that lost their job, have nowhere to go. There are the homeless that are on drugs, that are doing bad things. I go down Prescott Street, I'll leave here, I'll go down Prescott Street, headed to Market Basket to ring the bell, and there's a guy standing at the corner of Merrimack Street and Prescott, always going to, and not bothering him. He'd go up and ask him for money. I could not do that with a Salvation Army kettle. Why can't and I know people, it bothers people. If you just ignore him, he's not belligerent. Why can't the police do something about stopping that? And you see it over in Pawtuckaville near McDonald's.
The judge does nothing. The judge lets them walk.
But just tell them, no, not arrest them, just say, move along, you can't do this. Is that a right, can they do that, Rodney, do you know? I'm not talking about he's not belligerent, he's very, if you ignore him, he doesn't like knock on your window or anything, but I've had 2 people tell me in the last week they will not go to a downtown restaurant because the last 2 times they were down there, they were not accosted but bothered by homeless people. So.
You guys know Jeff Thomas, correct? I believe, I don't think Dave does, but I know Rodney does. He said, not too long ago, he said, what if these campsites were in Shed Park or Tyler Park? How long do you think they'd be there? They're in this district. Why? People don't vote.
No, it's not that.
Well,
They were herded here. The city of Lowell
Yeah.
herded the homeless to the South Common.
I agree
No
with
mistake
you.
about it.
I agree with you, but
They're not in
agree.
Belvedere because they weren't herded there.
Well, like I just
That's the
said to you.
term that they
would
tell me.
Well, let me say this. I think the homeless homeless people will go to where there's services. They're going to go where they can get food. They're going to go where they can get support. And, the Elliott Church, God bless them, is, the former pastor is providing a lot of services for the homeless, which is really why, the attraction. And they're scattered. There's a site along Pawtucket Boulevard that's been there for a long, long time. It's on MBTA land, and we're trying to work with MBTA to address it. So, there was a fire last week, a pretty big fire, and we're in the middle of a, very dangerous time with, we were without any rain. But, to answer your question on panhandling,
Yeah.
this goes back to 2 administrations ago where we tried to put up signs in various locations to
Right,
say,
right.
please don't panhandle. It has been adjudicated by the higher courts. It's a freedom of expression. They're allowed to do it. They're entitled to do it. However, it's a concern. There's also that balance of, individual property rights. I mean, let's take an example, the Owl Diner. I mean, I think sort of the homeless, and it's some of the homeless have become violent. We've seen that in Bishop Markham. I think I stated this the last time I was on. There was a story in the paper which I want to want to talk to the city council about it. The housing authority is not neglecting our tenants by any stretch, but we have processed in excess of 1,200 evictions for those individuals that have broken the law. They don't pay their rent, and it's a last resort. Don't get me wrong. We're working on a case that one particular case that the judge continues to stay for a year and a half. And, that's right. That's wrong. We're not trying to evict anybody wrongfully so, but there's also rules and regulations that you have to find. So
Right.
the homeless there, they've broken doors. They've broken 6 doors. They're breaking keypads. They're, the folks that are crisscrossing in and out of that complex, there are 9 buildings there, and we do everything we can to keep them safe. But to answer your question, panhandling, it is legal, which is, why you see that across the country. And, it's a problem. We're trying. We'll just have to. It's a work in progress. Let me also mention the delegation is trying to meet or set up a time to meet with the city council to talk about what we do, what we can do, and I think there's always merit in conversations where we are providing funding. However, is there something with livable communities? Is there some program, some something that we can do to focus on?
Does the housing authority have their own security at Bishop Markham, or is it just?
We had security. I talked about this. We had security, I believe it was 2 years ago. Look, these individuals, these homeless, they know that's a security, and we would just call the police. That's the most important aspect. I'm glad you brought that up, Tom. The housing authority doesn't have any arresting power. We can't hire police. We can't. We can hire, and we do. We pay $120,000 for police support a year, which, in a large scheme of things, it's not a lot, but we had an office years ago. There was, the gang unit was at an office at the Mercy Center. We've just established at Bishop Markham a police precinct.
I saw that.
So we hope that's gonna, that's gonna provide some help to stem the tide of what's going on, and, it's...
Sorry, boys, time is short. Tomorrow,
it's
Linda
quick.
Bound's going to be the host. Corey Belanger's going to be here. Eric Gitchie is going to be here. Got 2 quick texts I want to do here. I don't think we have time for them today. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holiday. Thank you. And the last one, Rep. Elliott, feeling for DiZoglio audit success.
Is that a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I support it. I support the audit. I think that, we do get audited, and we took a measure, the legislature took a measure to say, look, here's a step, you pick the auditor, we follow, just like every city in town, there is an auditor like in the city of Lowell, and I do recall that there's a committee, 2 or 3 folks that pick an audit firm, and you get an independent audit firm to audit the entire city of Lowell, both the school and the state. So, look, I'm all about transparency, and
I'm glad you brought up the housings today.
Sorry, David, you got 30 seconds.
Thank you.
Yeah, give David.
Well, this is a fascinating conversation. I will just say that Project Compass we're here to help people who want to be helped. We're here to provide love and compassion to those who have and provide an opportunity for people who are looking to better their lives through housing stability, through our 2 facilities, through interacting with animals and livestock and getting to know one another better in an outdoor environment up at our farm, through scholarships at Jumpstart to people who aren't matriculating through normal channels. We have a myriad of programs, a lot of great people. We don't take state and federal money today. And we're here to help, and stay tuned. I think this Appleton facility is going to turn out to be great because we're not enabling, we're helping.
Say
Great.
goodbye, boys.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, I can say that.